Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my video. Today we're going to be talking about long-term ownership on the F80 M3. This is an Austin Yellow 2015 M3. It has about 98,000 miles, all for me, and just looking forward to hitting 100K. So let's start with the walk around. So right away, just off the bat, man, this looks beautiful. But the front, I have but the front lip splitters, I want to say, I forget what they're called, but someone in the comments could correct me. But yeah, so I started off with those. Nothing crazy, just I thought it looks nice. I also got the carbon covers on the mirrors there. So let's keep going. I did paint match these because they were orange and they're just Jesus, they're so ugly. So I got them paint matched. You can order them from like BMW ID or anything, or FCP. You can really get them anywhere, honestly. Just Google it. It is on coils, and we are on apexes. I was looking at some other wheels before. I was thinking TEs, but I don't know. I just ended up going apexes. Had I gone another route, I probably would have gone BBSs, but I was looking for that OEM plus look, so we went with the apexes. And here's the side profile. So again, we're on coils, we're staggered. So the front is 275 19 by 30, and then the back is 305 19 by 30. We have like I said, these are covered. And then we're on nothing crazy, some eBay carbon side skirts, but they came out really nice, so no complaints there. And then we have the trunk lip spoiler carbon. Let me show from over here. These lights are changed. I'll show those in a second because I didn't like the stock ones too much. Then we have as you can see, the diffuser. It's kind of nice. The car is dirty. I should have washed it, but I was just coming back from the gym and thought, you know what, let me just make this video. This is my first video ever, so bear with me. So again, let's do the little side profile. Show the side profile. The rear profile. Again, I was looking for the OEM plus look. I'm not really big on super crazy looks. To be fair, this is an Austin yellow car, so I guess that's kind of a lie. But here we are. Yeah, I don't really drive this car, honestly, a lot because I now have an Audi RS7, which is all-wheel drive, and I am in Washington, and this day is extremely rare. Like, this doesn't happen a lot. However, when May comes around, I will be driving this car a lot more, making content with it, because the weather is going to be really, really nice, and, you know, who doesn't want to drive a real-wheel drive car in the sun? So let's get inside the car. So this is some very simple interior. Honestly, I think BMW makes some of the nicest leather, and it just has that BMW smell. So yeah, the seats. So these are not like anything crazy, but man, these seats are extremely comfortable. They feel like some really good Recaros. The bolstering on them is really thick. I'm not the biggest guy ever, so there's not a lot of like wear and tear on these. Yeah, so I'm about 5'10", 5'11", 190 pounds. So, you know, I fit in here really well. Some of my buddies that are like 6'3", 6'4", they have no problem sitting in this car too. It's deceptively big. It doesn't seem like a big interior space, but it honestly has a lot of room. And you can fit 4 fully grown adults in here pretty easily if you don't move the seats too far back. Yeah, so we have, you know, leather here. Got leather on the e-brake, obviously all leather wrapped, and then you have the BMW stitching, pretty nice. Carbon fiber everywhere. So let's get in here and just look at some of the stuff. Yeah, so you got carbon fiber everywhere, leather everywhere, white stitching on the door handles. Executive package, so you do have Harman Kardon, and these are the sunshades I was talking about. So these ones on the sides are manual, and that one's automatic, the back one. So if I turn on the car, just to put the regular settings on, not fully on, and so you can see it's automatic. There's a button right here. Pretty nice. The system, the module, it's pretty nice. Look, I'll say this. I don't really go in here unless I'm going to be listening to music, and music is super good in here. If you're looking for like crazy maps and whatnot, probably not. This is not the way to go. You got cup holders. You got some room in these too. Yeah, I mean, interior, again, very simple, but very nice. Don't let the simplicity like rub you the wrong way or make you think, oh man, it's like, it's not standoutish, but it is very nice. Like, it's all driver focused, you know, and your passengers are going to have a good time in here too when you're driving, you know, your M3. So it's very nice. It's stood up to the test of time. There's not much damage. I've had people in here all the time, although these have gotten damaged over time. That's also probably for my dog. He's a German Shepherd, so he does, you know, stupid stuff. But yeah, like the interior has not aged at all over the years. And like, look at these. I've sit people back here all the time. I put stuff in here all the time, and it just I haven't cleaned this in months, man. And you know, it's in great condition. Can't complain, honestly. So now let's move on to the motor and some power mods. All right, the Holy Grail. Oh, just kidding. So I'm gonna step back so you guys can really look at this. Man, whatever these guys in Germany, however they came up with this, God bless them. This car is so fun. Let me not get distracted. Let me start with this. All right, so what mods do I have? So I've gone with VRSF for most of the air stuff. So your intakes and charge pipes are also VRSF. And I also have a J pipe, which is basically throttle body. I have oil cooler from Mishimoto. I have an oil cooler cover also from Mishimoto, which I do recommend. So, and then I am stage 2 plus with MHD. And we have a full exhaust system. So we have catless downpipes from VRSF, and we have Valtronic exhaust with the little button thing, you know, to an equal length mid pipe, to the VRSF, a catless downpipes to a full exhaust system, right? So but honestly, it doesn't sound the best. You know, it's really tough to make these cars sound good. When I got it, back when I got it, it was really hard to make these cars sound the best. However, now there's so many options. Valtronic, they're really good. There's also, you know, Active Auto Works. There's a few other. If you don't care about having cats, then there's like a Ramus, I think it's called. But long story short, there's a ton of options, right? If you want to make this car sound good. I honestly don't think they sound super bad like people make them out to sound like. And you'll kind of forget when you're driving this thing like a maniac and you hear your exhaust and you're just having a good time. You really don't care that much. It doesn't sound as bad as everyone makes it out to be. So don't let that sway you. Now that I do have a full exhaust system, intakes, the charge pipes, this, that, and the other, how has this car been on stage 2 plus? It has been great. It has been on stage 2 plus for at least 30,000 miles, and no issues, nothing besides general maintenance. So I will say this though, I'll preface this. When I was getting my stage 2 plus done, as I got all these mods and my tune, I did get my crank hub done. Now, crank hub. I want to talk about crank hub real quick. This might be a hot take. I might get a lot of hate for this, but I'm just going to say it anyways. I think the crank hub problem is overblown. Now, why do I say that? And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that if you have a stock F80 M3 and you're not doing anything crazier than, let's say, an exhaust for cats, you don't need a crank hub done. You'll be okay. I promise you. Actually, I don't promise you, don't take my word for it, but I can almost promise you, I can almost guarantee you that you will be fine. Unless you're driving somehow like ridiculously, insanely redlining every day, then maybe your crank is going to get spun regardless of what you do. But if you're just, enjoying every now and then and you don't have a ton of mods, you honestly won't need the crank hub done, in my opinion. Now, if you are going to go for power mods, then you will need your crank hub done. And that's the biggest thing on this car, honestly. There's not much else. Now, the one other thing that I would recommend, well, sorry, two other things I do recommend, which are not as costly as the crank hub, is the charge pipes, which are a few $100, and they'll save you a ton of headache, and a skid plate. And you may be thinking, why a skid plate? What's the point of that, right? Well, if you're low as I am and you do plan on lowering your car, one thing that I think is kind of I guess it is kind of a defect, is that the skid plate and the oil cooler. So the oil cooler is actually not covered. It's like covered by some like crappy plastic. It doesn't really do much. And I actually did have this issue. So I was driving and there's some piece of like huge rock or something got under my car, hit my oil cooler, and I was spilling oil everywhere. Luckily, I figured out right away that I ran over something. I mean, extremely loud. So I turned the car off, got that replaced with the Mishimoto, got the Mishimoto cover, or you can do Turner. Turner makes really good stuff too. And that's that. That's just my experience. Now, I don't think it's been very common, but I have seen people on the forums talk about it. So that would be the other thing that I would recommend. Now, this car is a long-term and daily driver. This is a great daily driver. I don't know what anybody else thinks. I've heard some other opinions, but this is an awesome daily driver, and this car is not that bad on gas. That's right. It's actually not terrible on gas. Even when I like step on it and I drive it like a maniac, and I drive this thing like it's stolen when like there's no one around and whatnot. I try not to drive it crazy when there's people around. I still get more than 21 gallons per mile. And you might be thinking, that's not shit, right? That's if you're coming from like a Honda. I do have a Honda Accord, so I'm not hating on Hondas. But for me, like I have my Audi RS7, and I was driving that daily for a little bit. And man, that thing was getting like 14, 15, 16, like basically nothing. So this car, I've been driving it more often, and man, 22, 23, sometimes even 25 if I just really follow the law. But this is a great car for gas mileage and the daily driving. Like I said, this car is actually extremely comfortable. Even when it's lowered on big wheels and, with all these mods, this car is still so comfortable. Like you can take the missus in here. She probably won't complain too much. And if you're stock, definitely, she'll have a great time. You need to go to work, you need to go to the gym, you need to go to the grocery store. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've put, I don't want to open this, there's so much crap in here, but, I got my boxing stuff, my gym bag, some UPS, some car parts, but it's a blanket. It's super, super spacious, believe it or not. There's a ton of room in here. So, yeah, it's a great daily driver. And again, so let's get back to the main point here. Now, it's a long-term car, not that bullshit like, oh, I've drove my car for 5,000 miles, long-term review. That's not a long-term review. Neither is 20,000, neither is 30,000. I wouldn't even say 50,000 is long-term. Okay, 100,000 miles. You're looking to pick up a high mileage M3. I do not think that these cars are a bad way to go. One thing I would just make sure is that if you're looking at a BMW F80 with higher mileage, look at the mods. If this guy has everything under the sun and he has a tune and all this, and they're telling you, oh, we don't have any paperwork for the crank hub, we don't have any paperwork for any of the maintenance, then run away. Don't do it. But if you're looking at a high mileage, well maintained, he's got the documentation, the car runs great. I mean, after you get a PPI, there's no reason not to have this. Because I know a lot of people worry about maintenance when it comes to European cars. I have 3 of them. I have a Mercedes, I have an Audi R7, M3. And I'm telling you, like, these cars, they take care of themselves if you take care of them, right? Now, the other thing, I personally don't go to dealerships, and I don't do a lot of my own maintenance. I can, but I'd rather not. So if you look into your local community, like mine's, for example, we have a really, really big BMW presence here. And we got like a few mechanics here who are well known, who do super good work. And they'll send you pictures as they're doing their work. They'll let you look at them working sometimes if you're, worried, a new customer or whatever. There's, you could probably ask around from your buddies that are in the BMW communities where they go. But I would not recommend, I personally do not recommend, this sounds ridiculous, but going to a BMW dealership. I would find those shops that are BMW specialists, and they just, they are proud of their work. They're passionate about these cars. And yeah, that's where I go. I go to a guy that's like nationwide known. Their shop is really popular. And they've done all my work. So shout out them. But yeah, I think that covers most things. Really, this is a great car. This is a great long-term car. I'm never going to get rid of this car. I think I'm going to make this into a track monster. I'm talking about upgraded turbos, take out the back seats, put in some crazy stuff. So I have a lot of content coming for this car. Long-term, maintenance wise, these cars are not expensive to maintain. They're not very demanding. Besides the crank hub, charge pipes, and skid plate, if you're really worried about it, there isn't a lot of stuff that comes out of this car that's like needs to be replaced. For the most part, they're pretty reliable. The S55, in my opinion, is a bulletproof engine. You can look around. They don't just randomly blow up. If you don't put a ton of power and then don't do the crank hub, that's it. Like crank hub, this car is solid. You will be solid. It's a great car, high strung motor, goes up to 9,000, super fun. I think that's one thing nowadays cars are missing. My cousin does have a G80. I don't mean to go in on the G80, but this car is a lot more fun than G80. Like, this is a fun, passionate car to drive. You will enjoy this. And the looks are just insane. I feel like this car looks so timeless. And again, 100,000 miles, 90,000, but 100,000 miles damn near. It's withstood all this whole time. 100,000 miles. Does it look like 100,000 miles to you? It doesn't to me. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on this car. That's my long-term review. I personally had no issues on this car. I did the crank hub because of the power. Other than regular maintenance and gaskets and whatnot, I am a maintenance freak. I try to get all my stuff done. So maybe that's another reason my car runs so well. But I have had no problems. Feel free to ask any questions. I will be doing a video about the sound, the exhaust system, and a POV of driving next. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. We might disagree on a few things, but I think overall we all know what this car is, what this is capable of. It's a great platform for power. It's a great platform for show. If you want to have a show car, it's a great platform for the track. Like, it can do whatever you want it to do. And nowadays it's a bargain to get. Around 40,000-50,000 will get you into a great one. Sometimes even less if you don't really care about mileage too much. And like I said, high mileage, I would not stray away from this car if it had high mileage. Just look into it, try to find the history, see what you can. And if you can find a detailed report about the car, and you can tell from the owner that the car is pretty good shape, PPI done, then 30K, 35K, high mileage, this car is a steal if you can get it. So yeah, thanks again, guys. Sorry about the shakiness. I'm one guy, just have my phone. I'm going to take the content more seriously and update my settings and try to get a camera and all that cool stuff. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and please leave a comment. I don't care if you subscribe or like. If you do, that'd be awesome. If you don't, no worries. You guys have